to you, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to A Closer Book. This is the series where I review 3 of my most recent reads. The first book I'm going to tell you about is The Art of Social Media by Guy Kawasaki and Peg Fitzpatrick. This book was published in 2014. Technology is so rapidly changing that in just like 2 years, some of the information is not quite obsolete, but there's something else that is newer and just maybe more effective. I'm always trying to improve my social media. I make videos, I have a blog, I also have a presence on a lot of social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I'm always trying to figure out how I could do better at those platforms. What are some of the things that I can do to engage more people, get more of a following? I mean, the products that I review on my blog, like I review books on my blog, and the quality of books and the amount of books that I get is based on the number of followers that I have on my channel. So I'm always trying to improve my presence, not just to gain followers, but how I can be more effective. So I picked up this book because I thought that I would find some tips. I didn't learn a whole lot of new stuff. A lot of the things that they talked about in this book were things that I already knew. I did find a few apps, so I did put a few bookmarks in this book. One was blog post titles that work. One was places where you can share your blog post or your YouTube channel links to gain more followers, gain access to a wider audience. One was how to get more followers without buying them. I know there are places where you can go and pay for followers. This was another way to kind of meet your tribe online. The last one that I tagged, which I used the purple post-it for, was how to put everything together. Not just how to take all of these individual tools, but how to put them together, how to assemble them to make your site, to make your social media just the best that you can. I am far from being a social media expert, but I found that a lot of the tips that were in this book were things that I already knew and could find the information very quickly and readily online. So I didn't feel like the information in here was worth the $25.95 price tag that this book carries. But the good thing is that I didn't purchase it myself. I got it from the library, and I enjoyed reading this. I actually read this during a readathon, so it was a quick, easy read for me. It only has 196 pages, including the index at the back. After that, I read Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan. The main character in this book is Clay. He had a real job as a computer programmer, I think, and he loses his job during the recession, so he's looking for a new job. Any job, he'll take anything, and he finally gets this shift position as a clerk in a bookstore. But the bookstore is very strange because it is, number one, it's open 24 hours a day, and the focus doesn't seem to be on the books that they sell, but on this complicated book loan system that they have kind of in the back. And the instructions that he receives from his boss, Mr. Penumbra, is that he should not open the books themselves. He should not read the books themselves because they're only available to the people who come with a key. And while he is there, while he is trying to piece together the mystery, he involves the people in his life. He involves his roommate, a girl that he meets who works at Google. And so there's this really thrilling look at the backstory, the behind the scenes look at what goes on in Google. There's this mixture of old world charm with new technology, because here's this guy working in a bookstore, which is one of those kind of mythical places in our society, this kind of independent bookstore kind of thing. And then you have him using computer to solve the mystery and to map things, and to have this woman from Google using the Google technology. And it was just this beautiful story. It wasn't perfect by any means. There were a few plot holes that didn't get resolved in the end, but overall I really enjoyed the story and I rated it 4 stars. I also read #Girlboss by Sophia Amoruso. This is her memoir where she talks about her life as an underachieving child who didn't do well in high school, who was kind of bored with the system. She took odd jobs where she worked all these terrible minimum wage level jobs before she found her passion, finding vintage clothes in thrift stores and reselling them on eBay, and starting this company just basically from scratch, not borrowing any money, and eventually forming this multi-million-dollar company called Nasty Gal. This was a pretty inspirational read to see that, you know, this young woman overcame the challenges that she either started with or gave herself while she was growing up, and that she became a success, and that she pretty much did it without a lot of external help. She did it without going into a lot of debt, but also that she had these very strong women that helped her, that supported her along the way. This came across as a pretty inspirational read, not just for women who are entrepreneurial, but also for all women to support their fellow sisters who want to start their own business, or just to support women in general in their endeavors. I gave this one a 3-star rating because most of the information that is in here is pretty much what you expect from a memoir of someone like her, and there wasn't anything that was completely out of the ordinary. But I did bookmark a few things. One was that she talked about books that she had read, and she mentioned one of my favorite business slash finance books, which is George S. Clason's The Richest Man in Babylon. She says one of the best books I've read was that book, which offers financial advice in a collection of parables. And I feel like anyone who reads that book and mentions it, I'm just going to like what they have to say. The next bookmark was where she talked about chaos magic, where she said a big practice in chaos magic is the use of sigils, which are abstract words or symbols you create and embed with your wishes. And that was something that I'd never heard anyone talk about before, so I thought that was pretty interesting, and I bookmarked that to go back and reread it. The next bookmark that I made was where she talked about the lessons that she had learned that she wanted to pass on to other people. And she said, your challenge as a girl boss is to dive headfirst into things without being too attached to the results. When your goal is to gain experience, perspective, and knowledge, failure is no longer a possibility. Failure is your invention. I believe that there's a silver lining in everything, and once you begin to see it, you'll need sunglasses to combat the glare. There are lots of things that I enjoyed about this book, and so I gave it 3 stars. It could have been a little stronger. I could have bumped it up to 3.5, so let's settle on that. 3.5 stars is what I rated this book. So that is a closer book at these 3 recent reads. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these and what you thought about them. All of these books that I read came from the library, and I actually read all 3 of them in one day when I was doing my 24-hour readathon, which is why I had to bookmark them, because otherwise I probably wouldn't remember too many of the details. So thanks for watching. Leave me a comment down below if you've read any of them and you want to chat about anything that you read in them, or if you have a recommendation of what I should read next based on these books. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk later. Until next time, happy reading. Bye.